Hey, what's good, YouTube? It's your man Ronin back with another one. It's been a minute. I can talk about that in a whole another conversation. But with that being said, I want to say shout out to all the veterans across the board, both in civilian theater and in military theater. Salute to you guys, especially with everything that's going on. I pray that you guys are safe, sound. The ones who are here, hope you're enjoying your 72 hours or 96 or whatnot. But this is going to be pertaining to a lot of guys, especially in the wake of a lot of the foolishness we've been seeing, not just in the beginning of 2022, but in general, that is getting to the point where we have to address this shit. So, that being said, the following content will contain some very interesting language, definitions that I will break down at another date or when I feel like it. And for those who have a weak constitution or piss poor feelings and want to get on not all and all that goofiness, you can catch this on a replay and spoon feed it as best you can do. Viewer discretion is advised. So, with that being said, let's get into the conversation. So, today, this is going to be a three-part series, more or less, dealing with civilian war, fireteam awareness. This is on the aspect of spiritual warfare. Now, what brought this conversation about solely is from these prime examples which you're seeing out here. What you saw in Fart and Flaccid. A lot of these individuals who get caught up and don't understand what on-site language actually means, and just everything in general. So, since we're talking about being solution oriented, on this channel and many similar others, here's my contribution to the conversation. So, we're going to talk about the main thing that we're lacking out here as men in general, especially you keyboard warriors. Situational awareness is being aware of what's happening around you in terms of where you are, what you're supposed to be, and assess all things and threats to your health and safety. Now, as I mentioned earlier, those examples were among the many piss poor examples of situational awareness. Now, we had to be very mindful of the reputation that we build for ourselves or create around us by certain people we have in our proximity, certain associations, past, present, and all things pertaining. You can either weaponize situational awareness to benefit you or to help destroy you. And this conversation is needed because in this day and age, with this ever changing world and the advent of technology and social media, you don't have too many places to hide your misgivings and whatnot you do out there. You have to exercise a code of conduct, not just in the service. Because not only you have to deal with the UCMJ, the Uniform Military Code of Justice, but in the civilian theater is even worse. You could face legal action or street justice. And in many ways, that's a broad stroke, but do understand there are brothers out here who are dealing with the consequences of that of others, or mainly the lack of self-control or executing system, order, and structure within themselves or around themselves. So let's talk about the interpersonal aspect first. Situational awareness is mainly an expression of the spiritual element. Understanding who you are, what you're about, what you will and will not stand for, how you best represent yourself, and how you're willing to protect yourself. When you go in knowing about yourself, what you will and will not allow, you intentionally govern, for the most part, what will be sanctioned in your vicinity. Are you one of these internet weenies that get out here and do that keyboard courage? Out here being a keyboard crip, a broadband blood, a terabyte thug. All these different things that we can call you: Wi-Fi wino, a panel prostitute. Your lack of situational awareness or social ineptitude can be used against you, not just to be embarrassed, but you will be served as food, depending on where you are and where you go. And we're talking about situational awareness, knowing yourself and what you're about. You'll start understanding certain people will know how to treat you. For the most part, if you execute SOS for yourself to protect yourself, you not have to worry about how people say certain things about you because they're going to say something anyway. But you start building that level of fortification around yourself. It'll help you affect your mobility, how you stand among other men. When it comes to women, you talking about reading body language, learn how to understand verbal and social cues. People in certain areas across the country and outside of it have certain dialects, slang. Being aware of certain things, you be mindful that either you're sitting around people that are looking to game you up or serve you as an appetizer and right in front of your face. A lot of us think the language barrier is limited to other different dialects. If you're not street savvy, if you're not socially savvy, people can put you in positions that are very compromising to you. So it goes into knowing not just who you are, what you're about, learning information as far as body language, and always gaming yourself up to understand that when you step out into the world, you know what's worth protecting. If you value the things that reflect you, you'll conduct yourself in a manner that will promote longevity. Since we're supposed to be opposing environment, a lot of times we have to oppose ourselves, our feral impulses. Some individuals tend to forget all that running off in the mouth and talking about on-site behavior and doing all this extracurricular stuff. That stuff carries some serious consequences, but also they also come with extreme level of collateral damage. As you saw with Danny Lay, and not to get in the whole gossip nonsense, but if, for example, you saw with Danny Lay's brother, and he was right as a brother to sit there and defend his family. However, where he fucked up was putting out a edict speaking on-site behavior. Now that's you being ignorant of this person's reputation that you're talking to, or who they're likely to, their tendencies and patterns. As you saw with the fart and flaccid debacle, not just on themselves, but a lot of their guests, where they create a chaotic environment, with you being a host in certain places, either on your certain platforms or in your house. That's the difference between having a house and a home. It's the difference between having harmony and chaos. The thing is, you are supposed to set the tone with system, order, and structure, how things are going to go. Been in certain places where people are more than welcome to sit there and over talk other people. And when you do all that, the collateral damage is the message gets lost in the shuffle. When you have individuals who are trying to do what they can to be heard and over talk people because they're gaining attention or looking to steal attention from people who are more prevalent or more concise and consistent. It all goes back to knowing yourself, learning how to read the room, learning how to control your tendencies. Again, it puts you in a better position to maneuver, as you should. This is a masculine trait, because if you can know the room, you can read the room, you can move in the room and win in that room and beyond. Now, as far as the Fireteam aspect, it goes into knowing your guys. I've always said you are the commanding officer of your fire team. You're the sergeant. You're the point man, or being the head of the team, whatever position you are best suited for. That goes into, as my brother Sheep would say, Sheep Stay Sleep would say, know your role and play it. In knowing your fire team, how they maneuver, how they think, how to communicate with them, you guys start moving fluidly. not just in private, but in society. What level of camaraderie do you have? Do you guys exercise and promote the tenets of actual brotherhood, to where even a person that isn't of your bloodline, you learn to love them as a brother, more than the one that was either born in the same womb you came from? See, when you exercise these things and create an environment of cohesiveness, learning how to empathize with each other, hold each other accountable, move as a solid, fluid unit, this is where you start promoting agency. A lot of us brothers are suffering because we don't have any solid outlets. We don't have that many OGs that are credible. We have a bunch of holders. Not to say that they don't exist, but number one, we're in a society that's not being taken seriously. Leadership is looked upon with a level of disdain. However, in your environment, with your crew, what is the goal of your crew? Are y'all looking to just go out, sit under a street lamp and bullshit? Are you guys looking to not just oppose environment, but increase each other's worth? If anything, you should start looking at your team as like, I expect you to be better than you were last month, last year, last decade. But their commitment to the mission and to their level of growth is going to show you how long they were meant to be there. Now, sometimes you ties tend to move apart, grow apart. But even if the possibility that happens, you got to focus on imparting that solid wisdom within your crew, your fire team, whether it be in peacetime or war. When you're going out to these public spaces, you start understanding, like, if you guys have that command to signal amongst each other, if you guys know your respective tendencies, you guys are able to protect yourselves in more ways than one. You go into certain environments knowing damn well we got contingency plans for in case shit happens. I know if that person puts something in my buddy's drink. We always cover each other's six. That way we had that level of calm and fluidity as a crew. So again, on the fire team aspect, situational awareness is key among many things. What do you value as a fire team? Is it honor, value, communication, understanding, respect? Those things that make men, because great leaders create great leaders. Now, shitbirds, you have to eliminate and evacuate those breaches of security, which will reflect on you as the individual. If you surround yourselves by pieces of shit, you're just that corn that's hanging around a pile of turds. And those dire consequences will be falling upon you. So now, again, the secular aspect. Many guys are really ignorant of the idea of the negative media betrayal that's being put out here. Now, I'll go into that further in the video, but I'd rather speak on it now. If you look at the news, pay close attention of the propaganda that's being set against you. There are guys that look like me being portrayed as demons, super predators. And it's going to get to the point, if we don't take agency and command of how our image is portrayed, they're not going to be willing to make a differential choice between who is the actual bad elements out there versus the solid ones. It's on us now to take leadership and take point on how we're being viewed as a collective. And you notice the eyes of the world are watching, because meaning as you oppose environment, holding system, order, and structure, learn how to have that cohesive behavior amongst each other and represent each other well. Even your enemies will envy but respect how you guys move. They might not say it outright. Most of them give you a respectable distance. Because I already know if they bring that smoke, they're going to find out real quick they got asthma. Or know that the fact that you got your brother's back and you're covered. You talk about spiritual warfare, it is a very serious thing. So when it comes to situational awareness, it can be the weapon to help solidify your bonds and protect you, or destroy you as rugged individuals due to your commitment to derelict addictions and actions. So I want to say in closing, for those of individuals who like to hide online or be these overt trolls and goofy bastards out here who want to talk tough and promote this image that they're bigger than they really are, get the fuck outside. That is your biggest school of thought out there. Learning not just how you interact with the environment, but how you affect the environment in a positive or negative form. You can stand and learn a lot of things out there. And there's too many individuals who are sitting there pointing fingers, worrying about what another man's dick is doing to certain chicks, or very menial conversations. Treat the world as a great big juicy vagina. As a man, you should be ready to smash the hell out of that, because you carry the seed of not just procreation, but problem solving, protection, and provision. When you know who you are and who you're around, and you guys do your thing respectively to literally fuck the shit out of your purpose, you will remove yourself from the ranks of being a spiritually impaired mule of provision. You won't be a Jonathan, because unlike Jonathan, you know the necessity and the power of self-awareness. But it starts in knowing who you are, where you are, what will ultimately show you how to maneuver and to protect the very ground you established while expanding your territory and your influence. So that being said, that's the first. You guys, let me know in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And for future videos, with that, I'm going to be working on the next one. So again, we're going to be talking about solid man shit. Granted, we're going to have fun. But again, it is my contribution to give back to the guys, because there's far too many paper dragons out here getting guys burnt up by the fires of the world. As always, never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. Simplify. Be safe out there. Peace.